It's been a long time since I've been able to make a video like this. You know, just talking about the community and stuff like that. Let's do that. Let's talk about the community and the community's reaction to Angels of the Zariman. And it's been a reaction. It's been a doozy. So, if you have been hanging out in like the Warframe subreddit for the past 2 or so days, you would see that like pretty much every post, everything right now is like, Angels of the Zariman sucks. Angels of the Zariman has destroyed the game. I'm quitting Warframe because of Angels of the Zariman. Wah wah wah. Wah wah wah. Okay, first of all, these people are not quitting Warframe. They aren't. Trust me. There's people who have been commenting on those posts that are getting downvoted for it, but they are absolutely correct when they're just saying that, like, hey, alright, bro, see you next update. Because we will. No. So, let's talk about people's contention with this, because I got opinions. I got opinions. Now, first up, people are talking about Void Sling in the focus rework, and you can't void dash like you could anymore. It's a nerf. It's a nerf to the mobility of the game, and I think the last time I've seen people be like this sort of upset was, if I just go from personal sort of recollection, it's when they nerfed the Kuva-Nukor. Keep in mind that though, even post-nerf, Kuva-Nukor is still the most used secondary, like by far. It's even more widely like just the single secondary people use today than it was pre-nerf. No, wait, even before that. I think it was when they nerfed the Catch Moon, something like that. That might have been the last time people were this upset. And it was the same thing there, where like everyone uses the Catch Moon. Everyone. No one uses any secondary other than the Catch Moon. And they were like, well, that's not good. We shouldn't have one secondary that is the only one that people use. But hey, they have that today with the Kuva-Nukor anyway. Whoopsie. So they nerfed the Catch Moon. And everyone was just super upset about that too. They didn't quit the game though. They just threatened that they would. So, the new... You can't void dash anymore. Now you have this new thing called the Void Sling. So now instead, right, you hold it and then you charge. You don't have to charge. You can do a little one if you want. But you hold it and then you can see like a little reticule to see where you're gonna land. And people have been testing this and be like, it's not as fast. It's not as fast as void dashing. You can't chain it like you could. I mean, you still pretty much can. It's not as fast. That is correct. But I think when people have been showing these videos, like showing how the new Void Sling works, they're like, and they're trying to make it look like it, you know, it's harder to use it than it is and stuff like that. And it's like, you can still fucking chain it. Oh my god. Look, you just have good timing. You can still chain it. Not as fast. No. Not as fast, but you can still chain it. Here's the thing. It's not like the devs said that they were going to maintain the functionality of void dashing, just, you know, change how it works mechanically. No, they said before this update came out that this was intended. They wanted to slow it down. They said that void dashing felt too spammy, and from a gameplay perspective, it's sort of like just it's weird, and they don't like it, basically. So this was intended. They wanted to slow it down, and here's the thing. If you've watched my second sort of Let's Play series of Warframe that I do together with my wife, with Anna, because we're married now. Hey. you know that like Anna has that like a common complaint for a long time that she feels like Warframe is too fast. And I'm of the opinion that it is. I kind of agree with her on that. That the game has just gotten sort of like faster and faster and faster. First from coptering, and then the parkour and the bullet jumping, and then with the void dashing and whatnot. And also with like the ability spam and stuff we can do today. Where this ties into what I'm going to talk about later with the second point of contention, which is the Eximus reworks. In that you don't even sort of react to your surroundings nowadays when you play Warframe. Everything is so fast. You pop into your Arcwing, you zoom a kilometer in a second, you smack down, you kill all the enemies in a millisecond, you don't even look at what you're doing, pop back in, zoom, and 1 second later you're another kilometer away and stuff. And the enemies are a non-factor, and it's just how the game is played today. I kind of wish it wasn't how the game was played. I kind of wish the game was slower. I'm not gonna say that I want Warframe to be like sort of any from the year 2000 shooter or whatnot, because the mobility of Warframe is unique. Warframe has the best sort of movement of any shooter, by far. There is no shooter that exists that have movement that feels better than Warframe does, period. But with that being said, some stuff have gotten ridiculous. And Void Sling as it is, where you sort of like you just launch yourself instead of just spamming zaps and whatever. I think it feels better. I legitimately think it feels better. Now I understand you can't go backwards anymore. You can't go to the sides. You can only go to where the reticule points. So you can't do some of the really weird, janky movements, whatever, that people are doing in Eidolon hunts, where you spam back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, you can't do that anymore. Sure. I'm fine with that. I'll take that trade-off. So yeah, here's my first retort, okay? Void Sling is better than Void Dashing. Void Sling feels better to use than Void Dashing. And I'm not talking that it's faster, it's not. It's slower. It's slower, it's clunkier, you can't do the things you could before, and I say this feels better. This is more in line with what I would like Warframe to be, because I want Warframe to move away from the brainless horde shooter. I want Warframe to move away from the design philosophy of not paying attention to anything happening around you and just spamming your shit. I like the gameplay to go back to something more sensible, where you're sort of like, you are reacting to your surroundings and you are having to plan out your moves, and you do have to think about what you're doing, and there's a skill element now to doing it, instead of just being a brainless activity. Remember that word, skill. We're gonna come back to that word, because I have my ideas about why people have reacted to this update the way that they have, and you're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you. I'm sorry, people, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you, but some of you probably need to hear it. I don't know if you need to hear it. I'm gonna tell it to you anyway. And then we come to the second point of contention, which is the Eximus rework. Ooh, that's got people in a tizzy. Is it people who are in a tizzy, or is it their underwear that's in a tizzy? I don't remember how it works. Anyway, unless you've been living under a rock for a couple of days, and you've missed what this is about, they've changed Eximus enemies. Now, Eximus enemies, they all work differently from how they worked before. They now have an overguard mechanic.
Party, we're near clones, half rotten already.
Yeah.
Wipe them out.
They now have overguard, which is a new mechanic. That is like another layer of shields on top of their shields and armor that you have to whittle away. And until you've done so, they are completely immune to sort of like crowd control effects. And they can sort of mess around with Warframe abilities, stuff like that too.
Keep fighting. I'm loving this.
Yeah. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, in this new update in Angels of the Zariman, we've got some new it's like syndicate medallions basically, which is a new resource that you need to craft a bunch of stuff and to rank up with the new faction and whatnot. So no matter what sort of mission you're playing in this tile set, be it bounties or just like now, just running a normal exterminate mission, you are sort of incentivized to scour every nook and cranny and hunt for these new medallions, because you're gonna need them. But anyway, people don't like these new Eximus units. People have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna quit the game. Oh, I'm gonna quit the game over these new Eximus units. Ain't no more fun." Poor little kids hiding in the vents. Not vent kids though, just Zariman kids. And look, Warframe has gotten too fast, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, okay? Warframe has gotten too easy. The game of Warframe is too easy. It is far too easy. Might be exacerbated by the fact that I have spent the last month or so just manically playing Elden Ring in my spare time. But I've played a bunch of other Souls games before as well, and I've played other shooters as well. And Warframe, where it's at, with just the power level of our frames and what we can do, our abilities and that whole jazz, we are at the point where enemies present no challenge to you whatsoever. I talked about that a little bit when I talked about Void Sling and stuff, where you're just everything's going so fast you're not even paying attention to what the enemies are doing. You see that? There was a thing on the ground. There was a thing on the ground, and I had to dodge out of the thing on the ground before it was too late. Ain't that crazy? Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? Can't see him. He just went invisible on me. Nah, he'll be back if I don't kill him. That's fine. And it's like, I don't know if people are even trying this themselves. Are they trying the new update, or are they just going by like second-hand information? They've just been told by someone else that they're supposed to be angry now. So they join into the hate fest and just assume that they have a good reason to be angry. Is that it? Because if you've actually tried playing the new game, like you have this, oh, crowd control frames are dead. You can't play crowd control frames anymore. Oh, a level 40 Eximus unit can one-shot an Inaros. And like, if you click on these, they will show you where to find the syndicate medallions. It's really nice. You should remember to do that when you're in these missions. All right, and I'm gonna say something now. I'm gonna say something to you, as someone who has spent a a lot of time playing Warframe, and I also played like other sort of horde games, horde shooter-ish adjacent games, like stuff like Diablo, but also having played, you know, stuff like Warframe and other Souls games. Okay? Community, fucking get good. Right? That I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having to tell you this. But fucking get good if you think the new Eximus units are a problem. Because they are not. They are absolutely not. And we are at the point where I'm starting to think a lot of y'all are just bad at this game. Right? What? How else are we gonna spin this? What's the problem? I saw someone on the subreddit comment where they said that like Warframe is unique in that it's a game where you can spend like 100 hours playing the game and not learn a single fucking thing about it. Because you don't have to. It's so easy to just be taxied by other players wherever you want to go. Or you just spend 100 hours playing Hydron on Zedna and just leveling stuff up. And that's it. I mean, that's... Ooh, nice. The Void Bloom Crest. They spawn in every mission now. There's always one crest, so make sure to always hunt for these medallions. You can... here we go. And... give me my plasms. It's divisive sort of in the same way that the Ropalolis boss fight is divisive. Where like some people think it's like the best boss fight in the game. I'm inclined to agree. Is there like an invisible enemy here or something? Something. Helios sure wants to be shooting at something. Yeah, there's an invisible enemy here. It feels like it's the Thrax guy I just killed. Man, that's some sort of weird bug. Strange. We're gonna dive into the simulacrum, people, okay? And we're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna see if these new Eximus units really are the problem that the community claims they are. Or maybe the problem lies elsewhere. Okay, let's go over these one at a time. Let's see. We're just gonna pick Eximus. Let's pick whatever. Let's pick a good old a Lancer or something. Here, a Lancer Eximus. Now, what they said. Level 40. Level 40 Lancer Eximus. Is what I heard. Which one is that? Energy leech? No. I heard arson. I thought I killed you. There we go. They said that they can one-shot an Inaros. I'm sure they can. So here we got our good old Inaros, 5,000 HP. Lancer Eximus. There's the arson. Okay. Now, he's gonna do his thing. Did about 2,000 damage. Now, obviously, for this to work, I can't be using stuff like Arcane Grace. I'm gonna have to remove that. I'm gonna ditch my Helios as well. Because my Helios, my Sentinel... My Sentinel killed that level 40 Eximus in a millisecond. So, yeah, that's... Oh, man, I'm gonna quit Warframe now. Alright. Let's do this again. Get an arson. no, no, no. See, you even have to, like, just work to get to one that's a problem. I'm gonna get that Arson Eximus, don't worry about it. There we go. Okay, level... no, that's a Blitz. Oh, that's Blitz. Blitz is also fine. Okay. 2,000. Yeah, that one wasn't a direct hit, so that did almost no damage at all. But what if he just... what if I just do this? Oh! Oh, how about that? Because you can hear this little sound effect, right? And then you can just step 1 foot to the left. So obviously, no. If you just stand still, and don't even react to what the enemy is doing, and just stand still like an idiot. Don't even play the game. Then sure, I guess your Inaros can get one-shotted. Is that the complaint? That you can no longer go to Hydron and just AFK and let everyone else do the job for you? Like, this is Arson Eximus. No, didn't die. So I guess it was the Blitz one that people were complaining about, that the Blitz one could one-shot you. Yeah. What about the Arson? Whee! Look at that, you can roll through it. Did you know that? They told us that you can do that. You can roll through their little heat wave thing, and then it doesn't hurt you. Crazy how that works, right? And then you can just sort of... you can just sort of dodge. You tried dodging? Alright, so clearly, by not just standing there, not getting one-shotted, and then they're gonna be like, okay, Nick, that's fine and all for Inaros, but what about them crowd control frames? The crowd control frames have become useless now because these new Eximus enemies, they're immune to crowd control effects. So now you can't play Nyx anymore. That's another complaint. I'm gonna guess that comes from people who have never played Nyx. Now, she has one ability, her number 3. That's the only one that can't affect the new Eximus units. Her other abilities, they still work the way they did before. Psychic Bolts, it will still strip the defenses from Eximus units, just not their overguard. So they're like, well, now you can't. But then what? Then you can't, you know, you can't make the Eximus shoot its friendlies because you can't hit it with the chaos. So it's not gonna work anymore. Okay. Now, if you stop and think for like a second here. Just a second. You are 100% correct. Now, we're just gonna jump in here. And go immortal. If I play Chaos, you're right, the Eximus unit is not affected by it. So the Eximus unit is not gonna start shooting at its, you know, friends. But the friends are affected by it. So they're gonna start shooting. And the friends turn into enemies. So the Eximus unit is still going to be shooting his friends instead of shooting you. And then you can just do what you've always done. Which is walk around and hit everything with Psychic Bolts. And then the enemies are just killing each other. This includes the Eximus unit. The Eximus unit is participating in the whole enemies killing each other thing. Now clearly this playstyle is dead, and clearly you can't play Nyx anymore. As you can see, I am dying by the second. And, oh. Yeah. Man. Whatever will I do as a Nyx. I don't understand. It's like... I feel like these complaints just... They just get repeated by people who've heard them from someone else. And I'm just sitting there and like reading this complaint and be like, you have never played Nyx a day in your life if you think that Nyx is gonna have any sort of problem with these new Eximus units. And then they're like, okay, fine, but what about a squishy frame? What about a frame that doesn't have all of these survivability tools, like Banshee? What's Banshee going to do about these Eximus units? Yeah. So, let's say we take, I don't know, like Arid Lancer Eximus. 20 Eximus units. Level 190. Let's go. Now sure, the silence does nothing. But you see, like, my sonar still works just the way it did before. And my shield gating works just the way it did before, so they still can't kill me. And, as you can see, I kill enemies in a millisecond. Because Banshee has always been squishy. Even before this rework, Banshee was squishy. And Banshee players have learned how to play around that. You use shield gating for survivability. And all of her stupid damaging tools with her sonar, they still work just as well as they did before. She can go into a room full of Eximus units and just wipe them. It's not a problem. And I'm gonna go back to my original point here, which is just fucking get good. That's the problem. Warframe is too fast, and Warframe is too easy, and Warframe players, like, it started with, I'm gonna say it started maybe even with, like, the Acolyte mods and Condition Overload, and just the damage power creep of melee builds. It got worse with the Galvanized mods. It got worse with the Acolyte Arcanes. It got worse with the Kuvalich weapons. And the devs doing what they said they wouldn't do, and which is balance the game around Steel Path. And give us all of these new stupid damaging abilities. And you got all of these arcanes, like Arcane Energize and Arcane Grace and stuff like that, where everyone is running around being immortal. Everyone is running around doing millions of billions of damage. And no one has to actually be good at the game anymore. And then when they add something that is actual challenge, not challenge in the form of just bigger number or just bigger mob density, which has been the case for quite some time, but instead mechanical challenge. You have to pay attention to what the enemy is doing. The enemy doesn't react to everything you do, so you're gonna have to be mobile. You're gonna have to have an active play style. You're gonna have to really, really be paying attention to what you're doing, or they're gonna tear you up. And suddenly people are like screaming, I'm gonna quit the game. Jesus Christ. It's like, I am having so much fun with these new Eximus units. I love seeing one show up in the mission, and then I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. If I don't take it seriously, it's going to kill me. And they're, but my power fantasy, I want to be a space ninja. I want this to be a horde shooter. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't, so I win. I got what I wanted. I like this game having some challenge. Alright, next point of contention, where it's like, well, this is bad for new players. This is making the game harder for new players. Let's switch to some good old Mark 1 gear. Now I prepared this here. This is my 8 Forma Mark 1 Bratton. But look at this. We have the standard mod setup here. I'm using 30 mod capacity. It's a rank... It's a Drain 11 Stormbringer, Drain 11 Infected Clip, Drain 8 Serration. So that's 30. So this is just a max rank Mark 1 Bratton with no Forma, no reactor or anything. And this is kind of just how you're supposed to mod a weapon like that. And enemies go up to like, I don't know, Saturn. Is that when you get enemies start like above level 20? So up until, say, Jupiter, the toughest enemies you face are gonna be like up to level 20. So, again, if we take a sort of Lancer Eximus unit, put it at level 20, something like that. Okay. So what can we do against that with a Mark 1 Bratton? Well, first we roll through the thing. I mistimed it, but that's okay. And they were like, oh, I don't even have enough ammo to kill an Arson Eximus. I was spending 15 minutes fighting the Arson Eximus and I couldn't kill it because I ran out of ammo. People are fucking lying, okay? Look at that. Is that so hard? No, it wasn't. No, it was a Mark 1 Bratton. Okay, what about here? Mark 1 Bow. The only thing I have in here is a pressure point, and that's like the first mod you get. Alright. So say I don't even have a serration or whatever. Whee! And then you just go and thwack it with your bow. And yeah, sure. The overguard is gonna take maybe 10-15 seconds to get through. Okay. There, I've done that. Yeah. So clearly, new players, they're not gonna have any way to deal with these new Eximus units, and clearly the devs have ruined the game for new players as well. Whereas like, I'm going to level with you. If you are one of those people who are talking about how this Eximus rework has ruined the game or whatever, you know what the problem is? Like, legit. The problem is you don't know how to play Warframe. And that's not entirely your fault. That's a bit on the developers as well, because they have created a game and they have fostered a game for quite some time now that you don't have to learn. You are so powerful and it's so sort of like mindless, there's the normal gameplay loop, that you never had to learn how to actually play the game. And so when they add actual challenge to the game, you feel like you're powerless and you feel like you can't do anything. In short, you feel like people feel when they play Dark Souls before they figure out how you're supposed to play the game. And before they get good. I love this rework. I am having so much fun with it. It's like I was playing like Kuva Survival, just standard like sort of half an hour or something. When I get up to like 25 minutes or so, those Eximus units are becoming a problem for the entire team. And we are just getting down left and right when we aren't paying attention. When we are paying attention, we get through it just fine. Did that with a squad earlier today. Chatted with them after the mission and everyone was like, holy shit, that was fun. That was the most fun I've had playing Kuva Survival in a long time. Because those guys weren't fucking around. Same thing. I did like an Axie relic mission, stuff like that, mobile defense. And those Eximus units were like, oh, whoa, ho, okay, gotta be on my A game here. Man, when was the last time you played Warframe and you thought yourself in the moment was like, oh, I have to step up my game or I'm gonna actually lose this mission? It's been a while. It's been a while since I had to think that. So I'm asking. I'm not asking for anything. My perspective on this is maybe like you should get some perspective. That's my perspective. It's so weird to me how just the idea of adding a bit of challenge to the game is enough to make people scream. It's like that meme with the little doggy I'll throw it up on screen or something. Where it's like time for balance change. No nerf, only buff. I've heard that complaint a long time. Where it's like, oh no, they should never nerf anything. They should only ever buff things. I've talked about this in previous videos. A nerf and a buff is the same thing. Unless you actually change functionality of a thing, that's an actual nerf. But if it's just tweaking a number here and there, a nerf and a buff is the exact same thing. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you nerf your weapon or buff an enemy. Same thing. Same thing happens in practice. But I don't know. It's just like I understand that like people don't like it when they could do a thing and now they can't do a thing. In the case of Void Sling, yeah, they changed the functionality. It works different now. There I can at least to some extent understand where you're coming from if you actually sort of really liked the way it functioned previously and you dislike how it's slower and clunkier now. Like, I'm for it because I want the game to be slower and clunkier, but there I can understand the complaint. I get it. Even if I don't agree with it, I get it. But when it comes to the Eximus rework, the complaint is basically that you want Warframe to have an easy mode. Just like Souls games, where it's like, it's too hard for me. The game is too hard for me. This game needs to have an easy mode. Can we toggle the old Eximus units back for us people who play in Noros and AFK in Hydron so we can continue AFKing in Hydron? Can we toggle this so that we can, like, it's like... Man. Just learn how to play the game, people. And you'll see that this rework is actually really fun. I've been hammering home this point for too long now. That was my point. That was my point. If you're still listening to this video, then you probably agree with it. And if you're not still listening to this video, then I probably pissed you off like 10 minutes ago. That's fine. That's fine. Let me know what you think about my take down in the comment section below. I will gladly listen to people's opinions. You're wrong, but I will listen to you. Let's keep the debate civil as always, and I will see you again tomorrow for something completely different.